I finally finished this RC10 build. I'm working on this for a couple of days periodically, and I just took a couple hours to go ahead and finish it up. I still have to do the body paint for it as well, but we'll give this a few minutes to let people kind of join in on this go live for this, or on this live video for this vehicle. I am going to paint it the color of the box color, basically the kind of gold metallic. I do have to get the paint. I think it's Tamiya PS-12 or something. I did see it the other day, so I will be painting it in the next probably 2 or 3 days. The weather's kind of crazy here in Georgia. It's about 22 degrees, and then tomorrow it's going to be 35, and then Wednesday it's going to be 70 something. And then I also have my Monster Beetle here because I've always wanted to have several cars that's got the gold wheels and stuff on it. So the Monster Beetle's one, the RC10, as you guys see when I finish this up, there's going to be another one. And then there's the Tamiya Fox too. So what's going on, Addicted to RC? Appreciate you joining in. We're just live for a few minutes. We're looking at some of these somewhat vintage re-released vehicles. I have two here, and I'm going to get a third one because I do love the gold plated wheels on these vehicles. And they have the Tamiya Fox. That's going to be the third one I get. Plus, I'm going to get a boomerang and stuff at some point in time. But I wanted to show you guys this build. I did put the Firma system in there. Now, I got that when it was on sale several months ago. I got it from my Ruckus, but I went ahead and put it in here. It's supposed to be like a crawler system, but it's a 15-turn motor. And I'll turn the light on in just a minute. It's a 15-turn motor, and this speed controller is capable of 3S lipo. So what's going on, Team Richard? Team Richard B? Appreciate you guys chiming in for a minute. Feel free to ask any questions, whether it's to this build or anything else, while I'm going to be live for about 30 minutes or so. No, that Talon is pretty much gold. I'm not going to sell that one. I got a friend that has, well, no, he sold his at a swap meet for a pretty good penny. I need to actually bring that Talon back out, but that's pretty much on lockdown right now, that Talon, so. What's going on, Michael? Appreciate you guys joining in. Just looking over this RC10 build. Nothing running in this video. I just wanted to show you guys this. I've been working on this for days, and I forgot how troublesome building some kits can be. Associated loves their Eclipse. That's all I gotta say. When I do the full video on this, I'll talk about that a little bit more. I got a couple of photos as well, and you guys will see that. But they love their Eclipse. Eclipse are throughout this whole vehicle. It's everywhere, y'all. It really is. And a couple of them popped off, and I lost a few. If you guys ever built a kit, you know, once you lose some of those, it's pretty much hard to find them. And they don't give you any extras in the kit either. So a couple people are joining in as well. I appreciate everybody that's joining in. What's going on, Doug? I will try to keep doing what I'm doing as much as I can keep doing it. I appreciate that, RC. You guys, make sure you hit that like button if you are in here, and if you want to, it's going to help me out some. We got about 20 people on and 4 likes, so 16 of y'all are tripping. No, I'm just playing. You ain't got to do it, but I'd appreciate it if you would. So, yeah, Doug, that's why I went ahead and got it. So the history of this, and I'm going to do a history of RC car companies from my standpoint, from when I grew up and stuff. The RC10 was, and when I do the video on this, I'll go through a whole history of this. You guys will see visuals and stuff. This actually, RC does not stand for radio control. I think it stands for Roger Curtis. I think it is. But the RC and RC10 does not stand for radio controlled. This kit was released in like 1984, I believe. And it was the first one to do like a championship race, and it won it. And I think it won it in 84, 85. And then Kyosho won it in 1986 with their Kyosho Ultima. And then, of course, the RC10 came back and it won it for the next one. And the rest is pretty much history there. But if you guys notice that just about every two-wheel drive buggy, up until maybe the last couple years, has been somewhat designed off of the RC10 platform. I know a lot of companies started doing things like this. Even Traxxas, when they released their Traxxas Bullet, it did have kind of a gold pan to it and stuff like that. And they had a similar transmission. They kind of built their vehicles off of that because they had the Bullet, then they had the Sledgehammer, they had the Hawk 2, etc. But this was RC10 or Associated's original design was going to be this 3-gear transmission that you see up in there. And you guys see there's another Eclipse. So they love their Eclipse, and it's a lot. Um, but I got this because a friend of mine had it when we were kids. His name was Timmy, and I loved it. It was kind of slow. He had a Nico Thunderbolt, and I got a Monster Beetle, which you guys see there. It's not the one I had when I was a kid, but they re-released this in 2015. Tamiya did, but I had a Monster Beetle, and we did block championships. So when I got my Monster Beetle, I was king of the block. I was killing everybody with it because at that time 15 miles per hour was pretty good, 12 to 15. And I had a technical motor in mind. I was beating people. And then he got an RC10, and then he won a monster truck, and he got an RC10 conversion kit because people were taking these and converting these to monster trucks. And it's a whole history behind it. But I've always wanted one. I didn't want to use one. I wanted a brand new one, and I didn't want to pay the eBay prices for the 80s kit for it. I just wasn't going to do that. But I almost did. I mean, this is $379. I got it from A Main, and I'll leave a link in the description after this video. But that's the kind of the history behind it, and that's why I went ahead. Now this is the Metallica Edition, so it does have kind of these gold-plated wheels, which I like. And my Monster Beetle, as you guys see there, has the gold-plated wheels. And when I get that Fox in, it'll have it too, and then I'll do a gold-plated wheel video or something. But that's the reason why I got this. So Doug, when you say that, I wanted one too because I wanted the box, and I wanted to kind of build it, even though it's a lot of Eclipse, y'all. But I went ahead and did that. So yeah, I have done. It's kind of hard sometimes when you're doing videos. It is complicated, and I don't know if you guys want me to get in. I know we're kind of talking about this stuff. To do videos is very complicated at times. I do have some FPV videos where I'm driving RC cars. I got a little camera I put on top, but sometimes that doesn't always work. Even for when I filmed it Saturday, for some reason, since my camera was trying to connect to the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi on my phone, and when I ran it with this, I ran it with my Limitless and then the Felony. It's like it wasn't functioning right. I think the smart radio and stuff intervened with it because when I started trying to go down, it just stopped. And so with the drone footage, I'd have to actually have the drone fly it up in the air or even try the follow me feature with it. And that's a lot to try to think about filming that out, the layout, how you're going to go about doing it. And 99% of the time, if not 100, it's just me out there filming. So it's not like I'm filming and I have someone else to help me and all that. It's just me filming 99.9% of the time. So that's kind of the reason why I didn't do drone footage unless I have the drone sitting high in the air and it could just be filming as the car is driving by. I thought about that. But after I do that, I got to download the footage. I got to get the timing right. So you'll see, or you've seen in some of my videos that I've kind of played with other footage. Like I put the camera on the car and it run for a few seconds. So I'm trying to get my mind and my thoughts wrapped around doing different types of footage. But if it's drone footage, you may see that next year if I can get a drone to get high enough just to film it down. But I know that was a mouthful, but that's why I haven't done drone footage yet. So yeah, I remember the Tamiya Frog was a big one. You guys remember the Punky Brewster episode where it was basically all Tamiya vehicles and they had all that. So it was very interesting. If you're new to the hobby, this yeah, it was a very interesting, but it is 100% kit. So everything you see here was put together. Um, I mean, even these bars, you got to put that on there. And I did mess up a couple times with screws. This servo is one I bought a while back. I think it was a $20 servo. So I went ahead and put that in. There's plenty of torque and power for that. You do have to supply your own servo horn for this kit, which for $379, they should give that to you. And you do have to put your own pinion gear in here. There is no pinion gear. And these are 48 pitch gears. I thought I had a pinion gear to fit it, but I actually don't. The ones I have are 3mm shaft and stuff, so they're bigger than this one. Or 5mm, they're bigger than the one that can fit on here. And I don't have a reducer sleeve, so I'll have to order a pinion gear for it. With that, but everything, including the wheels are a 3-piece wheels, so you will have to put those together too. I have recently done that earlier today. So what's going on, Charles? Appreciate you guys joining. If you can, smash the like button for me. X-Men, I'll try. I just To film a build, I thought about doing it, but I just took a couple photos because I didn't do this all at once. I did over the course of a couple of days. So, does Horizon make the Talon? Well, Arma makes the Talon, and Horizon distributes it for them. But that vehicle has not been out or released in, I think the last one was about 3 years ago. So it may be a minute before they do it. I don't know. We were thinking that they were going to do a fifth scale Talon or a fifth scale Typhon, but we'll see. It'd be cool if they did. Wouldn't it be cool if they had a 100 mile per hour truggy? A fifth scale 100 mile per hour truggy. So they probably went away from the pan chassis because of the weight of it. As racing started taking a turn from the late 80s to the early 90s, people were actually trimming this chassis to cut on weight. I believe some of the rules for the Royal Racing had changed, and people were trimming the chassis down. They were cutting holes in the chassis, drilling holes in the chassis to reduce weight. So that's kind of why they probably went away from it. It's probably expensive to manufacture this over time. I mean, it did good back then, and that's probably why they re-released it. They got several of these now. I mean, the RC10 Clear Edition, Green Edition. They released the Bryant Edition. They had the Clifflet. They got all kinds of them out there now. I think it's a lot, but pick the one you want, the one you grew up with from your childhood, and I just say buy that kit. You don't have to buy every single one if you don't want to, because it is a lot to put these things together. And it's not cheap. This is $379. This costs more than their ready to run RB. I think it's the RB10, or they got a two-wheel drive brushless buggy that's ready to run. It's $289. This as a kit costs more than that, and you don't get any electronics, nor pinion gear, nor a servo head with it. So I thought that was very interesting. As I started building this over the weekend, I thought about that. I was like, whoa, this costs more than that. So that's probably why this is going to be the only one. I thought about the four-wheel drive one, but I've never cared about a four-wheel drive RC10. So you have a DBXLE. It's cool. It's just they discontinued it. You can still find parts on Horizon and probably other places with it, but I don't know if they're gonna come out with another one or if Armor's gonna come out with something. But I know it's been discontinued because they had a sale going on at one point. I think they were like $900 for them. So I will be, of course, taping the body of this chassis up, or probably getting something transparent to put underneath it. Because once you start running, this is going to get all scraped and scratched up. Because I am going to run this. This is not going to be something that's just going to sit on my shelf. I am going to run it. I'm going to jump it. After I get the body painted in the next couple of days, I'll probably run it on 2S and then put a 3S in it. But I'm going to stick to it being brushed, just like I am with my Monster Beetle. And then I also have a ECX Ruckus. I'm going to leave all those cars brushed. I got plenty of fast cars, whether they're off-road or on-road. I got plenty of 100+ mile per hour cars. I don't need everything to be 40, 50 miles per hour at the box. And I may go ahead and buy a Kyosho Ultima and give these two a race, because that was this competition was, I think it was 1986 or 87. Kyosho won um, the two-wheel drive off-road championship, and that was like the heavyweight of boxing, like winning a heavyweight world boxing title. Whoever won a two-wheel drive was pretty much cream of the crop. And Joel Johnson won it for Kyosho back in, I think it was 86 or 87. So they did beat the RC10. I think someone, when they were racing, lost their wheel nut or something in the last lap or something like that. I gotta try to go back to it. But A-Main's been putting up videos of a lot of these old races. So if you guys are not subscribed, go over to A-Main's channel and you'll see them putting up a lot of vintage races and stuff. Completely different from today. Today they run inside carpet track, or if it's indoors, it's smooth blacktop. And I've been to a few races before, and some of the guys were complaining on the indoor track that they needed rewater out of the track. They weren't getting traction. And I'm thinking to myself, you guys wouldn't have made it back in the day, because it was straight outside and pretty much they would groom the track, but it's an off-road vehicle. So why not run it in an off-road environment instead of this super smooth surface? I use cans. I don't do airbrush. I probably should and could start trying to play with this somewhat, but The way my time is, I don't have time to do airbrush, but I will be. The body and stuff is in there in the wing, and like I said, it will look like this when I get done. I got to think about how I'm going to paint that figurine for it too. I do have to make some more adjustments on here. I didn't, like, of course, screw these shocks in all the way because their hexes are different. What are they, American Standard or something like that? So everything is a different size. So none of my tools really work except for one. So that's why it took me a little bit longer to get this together. But I think these are going to look good when I run these all in the same video. I'm probably going to wait till I get the Tamiya Fox to run them all three. There's another vehicle that has gold wheels. I can't think of what it is right now, but there's another one out there, and I'll be getting that too. So I'll have my gold wheel RC car collection together. And this Monster Beetle was back ordered until sometime next year. So the Monster Beetle is really iconic to me because it was my first hobby grade RC vehicle. I got it for Christmas, and I went crazy. It took my brother what it seemed like forever to put it together. But I have my Monster Beetle painted black, and I actually have one photo of it, and I'll show you guys when I start going through the history of a lot of these RC car companies from my point of view. Doug, I would wait on that Funko. Wait till Black Friday. Wait till Christmas and stuff. Because Traxxas marked that thing down within, what was it, 30 days, 45 days from when they released it. It went from, what was it, 1,400 or something down to 1,200 as a sale. I would wait for a little while because I don't think people are really buying it like, uh, maybe like people like, maybe like Traxxas thought they would. So I would wait just a little bit if I were you, if you're going to get one. I believe the A arms are dyeable. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure all this stuff is pretty much dyeable. All these different colors. You just, if you have the time to do it, that would be cool if you did it. But I'm leaving it like this because this is how I remember the RC10. But I'm pretty sure all that is, that top plate, even the trays that hold the battery and stuff in. I'm gonna leave this super long antenna on here, y'all. I may trim it down just a little bit because the body's gonna be here, but I may trim it down to here. But I'm definitely gonna have my antenna sticking out because it's gonna remind me of when we were kids. And you guys don't know, back in the day, the AM radios, the wire was so long that you would need antenna tube this long, and not only would the wire from the receiver come up through here, you would have to wrap it literally around here, or if you could wrap it inside of it. But with those AM radios, this chassis did give a little bit of interference too because it's all aluminum. So we had to take it, wrap the wires around here and stuff. It was pretty interesting. And this had a mechanical speed controller back in the day, not an electronic speed controller. So how this worked was the mechanical speed controller was up here. And when I, like I said, when I do the video on this in the next probably week or so, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it had a servo, the mechanical speed controller was here. And that's how that worked. It didn't have electronic speed controller for a while. Oh, nice. Tamiya Lunchbox. The first time I saw a Tamiya Lunchbox was some friends named Chris and Jim. And he had the, what was the Jeep called? I can't remember the name of the Jeep right now. Was it the Wild Willie? He had the Jeep. His brother had the Jeep, and Jim, the younger brother, had a Blackfoot. I remember that because we used to race a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna get the Fox. I know they renamed the Nova Fox, but I'm gonna get the Fox. That's gonna be the third one. But there's a fourth one out there that has gold wheels. I can't think of what it is right now. But there's gonna be a fourth one. I'm gonna get that one. But I'll probably get the Fox probably within the next month or so and just kind of build over the Christmas break. They don't have as many Eclipse as Associated does. Yeah, those antenna tubes, you guys don't know. In the day, I'm telling you, they were so long. This tube is probably about, oh, that's a little bit more than 12 inches. So the wire from the receiver would not only just come up through here, you'd have to wrap it around. If you put that wire and you tried to put it on this chassis, you would have interference with it. So that's why some of the Nico cars and stuff were still popular back then. And then Traxxas was the first company to start doing ready to run kits. And that literally put them on the market. I mean, once they started doing that, it was a done deal for Traxxas. They literally skyrocketed with that. They did do racing too. And like I said, when I do this history of Traxxas, I'll talk about all that because they won some national championships with a lot of their vehicles. And then sometime in the 90s, they just stopped doing it. I'm not sure why, but they just stopped doing racing. And I guess they were making more money in the bashing scene. But it would be nice if they kept that race team together, in my opinion, because that would have kept them innovative in the market and moving forward. Because once they had the Traxxas Hawk and then the Hawk 2, then they had the Traxxas Blue Eagle and then the Blue Eagle LS. Those were graphite chassis trucks, and they were designed for racing. So yeah, I'll probably do that with the Ultima. I had an Ultima in here, and then I got rid of it. I didn't want to build. I opened up. I was like, "Oh, I'm not doing this. I should have kept it, y'all, because I got it for a good deal." But yeah, but it would be nice to get an Ultima, and I would get this system and put in it. But when I bought this system, I bought it on sale when they had a blowout sale going on, and it was I think like $30 or something. This system now is $90. Unless they're gonna do another sell. If they do, I'm gonna get another couple more because this does run 3S. It's supposed to be. They're saying it's like a crawler system, but it's a 15 turn brush motor. So I don't know how many people would run this in their crawler, but they were selling it as a crawler system. But for the price I paid for it, and it's been sitting in my Ruckus box for a while, I figured I would just throw it in because I want to leave my Ruckus with the same system it has. I'm just gonna do some updates to it because it ran pretty good. I mean, it's about 25 miles per hour. I can probably squeeze a little bit over 30 with a 3S speed control I put up in there. But this comes with lights too. I don't know if I left the light kit in here or not, but no, it's upstairs. Um, so this comes with lights in it as well, and I didn't know that. And that may be why maybe the kit went back up or something like that. But if this goes back on sale, I will definitely be getting another one because if I get that Kyosho Ultima, even though it does come with the motor, I think, and maybe even a speed control, I can't remember. I want to try to match these up so they're kind of got the same system in it. And you do have to break brush motors in, if you guys that don't know it. We used to do it back in the day. There was so much with brush motors, it wasn't even funny. You guys see those springs that are on this motor? At one point in time, someone realized that if you bend these springs in, it's actually going to press that up against the motor stuff a little bit harder, and you will get more performance out of it. And it was so many things that were going on with brush motors back in the day. It wasn't even funny. But this is a rebuildable brush motor. I just didn't see a rebuild kit for it. And you can adjust some of the timing and stuff for it, which was back in the day. That was huge if you had something like that. Yeah, that Brian edition. I saw that too. I was debating between a couple of them, but I really wanted this iconic look here. I always loved the RC10. It would be cool if Associated made a fifth scale RC10. Some company needs to come out. I know HPI did it. They need to make a large scale two-wheel drive vehicle. I think that would be cool. I thought Traxxas would have did it by now with their Bandit, not with the Funko or rail car. I wanted a fifth scale Bandit or at least a seven scale Bandit. But it would be cool if they made this into a huge fifth scale vehicle and you could run like 6S or 8S on it. Yo, yellow dye, you can do that. I've seen, and now that I kind of remember, I remember back in the day with car action and stuff, people were dyeing those parts too. It was so many things. That was RC's big evolution was back in that time. People were doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was a good time to be in RC because you kind of saw the evolution of it. It went from brush motors to brushless, from nickel metal, from NiCad to nickel metal. Um, to lipo batteries. I mean, and back in the day, if you had a 2000 milliamp, I think it was Sanyo or Sonya, one of those cars, started with an S. If you had that 2000 milliamp nickel metal battery, you were a bomb. And people were building their batteries too. It was so much that kind of went on and so much innovation. It got people out the house and They were taking these cars and they were building them now. If you do a kit now, people probably don't have the patience to do it. I mean, I knew that it was going to take me a minute to do it, so that's why I took a couple of days to go ahead and knock this thing out. So Easy Rider says the Blackfoot was his first hobby grade. Yeah, I remember the Blackfoot. Yeah, you can still purchase it. I mean, they re-released the Blackfoot. I think they redid the grill, so people were upset because it doesn't look like the original. I think they used the Blackfoot Extreme grill or something like that on it. But I wish Tamiya would come back with the Mud Blaster because I would definitely get on that. That was built on the same platform, of course, of the Frog, the Monster Beetle, the Blackfoot. They just took the Subaru Brat body and they put it on the monster truck chassis, and they gave it the same spike tires that are on the Monster Beetle, but they gave it the wheels, I believe, of the Blackfoot. And the Cloudbuster 2. And yes, this is going to be 3S. Right now, it's just 2S because I was trying to set the servo and everything up. And for me, that was a mother. To get all this together, line that up and stuff, it was kind of crazy because it's been a while since I've had to build a kit. But this servo was like 20 bucks on Amazon. I can't remember. I've had it sitting around for a minute, but this servo was 20 bucks. So I went ahead and put that in there. There's plenty of speed and torque for this. Since I'm running a Spectrum system, I'm using a Spectrum battery, and I got a 3S, but my 3S is too big, so I will have to. I don't want to trim this. I have to figure out how I can get another 3S up in there with it. What's going on? Appreciate you joining. A couple of you guys are joining in. I'm trying to make sure I get to these comments too. Oh, you get that Super Cloudbuster. Let me know how that build is. I've wanted a Cloudbuster. I just don't have the time right now or patience to build one. I wish Tamiya would start doing their, I think they call it XB kits or something when they were building them. You would basically get the kit in a box and it'd be pretty much built. You'd have to go in and change the bushings out to ball bearings, but yeah, I have a hard time with shelf queens. I've only got one shelf queen. That's one of the Stampede 4x4s that I have. I probably maybe won't run it. I don't know. You can't even find those anymore, especially this one's brand new. I got the box and everything for it, so. Yeah, Justin, that'd be cool. 1/6 scale vehicles. I don't know why these companies aren't picking up on a lot of that stuff, but maybe because people aren't buying it or the cost would be too much. So, yeah, a friend of mine has the RC10 Crystal Clear Edition. I can't remember, did he get this same one? It was different. I can't remember. I think it might have been a race kit or something. But he got one that's crystal clear and he built that and then he ended up buying a Mugen and putting that together. Yeah, Cheesy goes, if you was able to build these with your feet, you are the man. Is that the armor mode of the 579? I think that's the armor mode on 3S. You probably could. I actually have a granite out there, a brush when I'm thinking about. I may put this speed controller in it and run it on 3S, but I got to change out the radio and stuff too. So we'll see if I get time to do that because I'm curious of what that granite's going to run on brush and on a 3S lipo. Yeah, the saddle pack versus the stick. Saddle packs are gonna kind of go like gonna be more of a square. But I like I said, I didn't really care about all that. I kind of wanted to use what I have. I didn't want to start pouring a lot of money making this into a $700 car, especially for something I'm gonna run and all that. I wanted to run the vehicle, so I'm trying to keep it as low budget as I can. I already think it was expensive for the price at 379. You get 30 bucks off on A main, so it was still 370, I think, with tax and everything with it. But yep, Prince, that was true. There was, you guys don't know, before stuff like this, and this is an HPI radio I got it before these 2.4 gigahertz radios, it was something. You had to make sure that no one else was running the same frequency as you because if they were, oh boy, talk about chasing your RC car down the street. What's going on? What's in the box? Appreciate you joining in. Oh, Justin says Jazzin makes 1/6 scale vehicles, but no RCs. All. Yeah, we can only dream and wish for that. So. Oh, Tex said this was his first RC car when he was 12 back in '86. Nice. Like I said, when I do a video on this in the next week or so, I'm going to do a whole history of this too, just from my point of view. So you guys will know the history behind the RC10 and what's going on with that. It's not just, it revolutionized the industry. It really did. I mean, like I said, a lot of companies, even today, they're not doing too many two-wheel drive vehicles, but they did copy the design of this. Just like when the Stampede 4x4 came out, people copied that design. Certain cars hit the market or hit the industry that literally laid a foundation for some of the stuff that we see today, if not a lot of it. So was the build smooth? It was okay. That's the best way I can put it. I don't know why this lighting keeps changing on here. There we go. The build was okay. It wasn't too bad. I had to go back and redo a couple things. Like the steering was horrible because when you do these adjust tie rods and stuff for it, the measurements they give you was not correct. So the tires are sticking all out like that. So I had to go in and I had to redo this. So other than that, it just took a long time because of the eclipse. I dread eclipse, but I had to do it anyway. I mean, I lost a couple of them as I was building it, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, like I said, I've seen worse, and it was my first time actually building an associated car. So Doug has a Team Durango DX210. Yeah, isn't Team Durango now their Arma now? I think I recall that history with that. Team Durango, they actually had some good stuff going on out there. They had a two-wheel drive buggy, Team Durango did, where you can mount the motor on the left or the right, or you can mount the motor mid-mounted left or right. And I thought that was very innovative. No company that I know of has done that since then. But you had a two-wheel drive buggy where you can do rear wheel mounting, or you can mount it in the center, have a mid-motor buggy where it can mount on the left or the right. I thought that was really innovative when they did that. Oh dang, it's 4 o'clock in the morning there. Sheesh. It's 10 o'clock here, so you 6 hours ahead. Yeah, well, blown Black Knight. They ate their design. I mean, this was the design for, like I said, this paved the way for all two-wheel drive vehicles for the next 20 years since this was released. They were all kind of built off of what Associated did. Remember, this was done in 1984. So imagine this being in 1984, and they didn't change too much until I think the late 80s, where they started doing like the stealth transmission in the early 90s and stuff. So, yep, Texas Hill. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, Traxxas did copy this. The Bullet was a gold pan chassis vehicle. It did copy a lot of this too, but the Bullet came ready to run, and nobody thought about that back in the day. Back in the day, nobody cared about, oh, they copy that design, this and that. They were just happy to have brands releasing stuff, and every company was coming out with something unique about it. So it wasn't a big ordeal that a design replicated another design. It wasn't lawsuits and all this stuff going on kind of like it is today. That is true. It is more of a bashing market for RCs. I mean, there are still people that race. We have Loganville here that still races. Um, but with the introduction of 6S vehicles and everybody wanting to go 100 miles per hour off road, it's just kind of interesting. And racing does take a lot out of you. Now, I'm not going to knock some people that have tried racing, but it's your whole day gone. So you got to get there early in the morning. You got to get your spot. You got to set up your spot, and then you got to start practicing on the track. And you're trying to get your vehicle dialed in for the track. And if you've only raced there a couple times, the conditions kind of change sometimes, especially if it's off road. So by the time you get that dialed in, you're ready to race, you go running. Then your heat comes up, you run your car. And then after you run your car, you have to corner marshal. I think some places let you pay a special additional amount so you don't corner marshal, but then you got to corner marshal. But you want to work on your car, you want to charge your battery and stuff. So by the time you corner marshal, then you come back and you start getting your batteries charged, you tweak your car, then your heat comes back up. And if you're doing more than one heat, yeah, you got a full day cut out for yourself. I would, but that would YouTube wouldn't like their music playing, then all of a sudden it'd be all kinds of issues. So they probably do, but they're not selling probably like they thought they would. I'm probably gonna get another one just for part purposes. Um, Maybe unless I can find some parts on eBay like the wheels and stuff. Because like I said, I am gonna get them dirty, and they are gonna get scraped and scratched up some. So, but then again, I may just leave it like it is. I don't know. No, I'm gonna do the paint job just like this. I'm gonna get the gold Tamiya paint. I think it's PS12. So it's gonna look exactly like this when I finish it. I'm even gonna put these associated lights around. I'm gonna paint the figure on the inside and everything. It's just gonna take me another week or two to get all that complete done because I want to do it right. I want it to still look good even though I'm gonna run it, but I want to make sure I do it right. Yeah, people still are racing, but it's a lot. I mean, I've filmed a couple of videos where I went up to the Loganville complex where they were racing and stuff and got some pretty good footage there. That's cool, Doug. Are you guys racing two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or just on road or what? I have a lot of RC cars. I have a lot. I got a lot. I got a lot. I mean, some of them are over there in storage and stuff, so it's yeah. The one car I've owned the most of has been the Stampede 4x4. And this Monster Beetle was a $200 kit, but of course, um, I changed the speed controller out. I put a 3S speed controller in here. It still has the stock motor in it and the stock gearing, but I had to buy an MIP ball diff for it, and that was like $85 for that because these vehicles were notorious for that transmission failing. I mean, when I ran this, at the first time I ran it, even stock, it was only what 12 miles per hour. I heard it popping. So I definitely had to buy MIP ball diff. I gotta work on the shocks, and this did flip and break a mirror. So I gotta see if I can find another mirror for it on eBay. And this mirror over here is turned all the way over. Get that right. But I love this look though. That's just me. I love the way that looks. Them gold wheels on there. Yeah, I saw several things out there being re-released. It's kind of hard to get a lot of those because they're all kits, and that is a lot of time. Like I said, this is about a 3 or 4 day build. I think I might have started it last week for a day. I think I worked on it 2 or 3 hours, and then one night I worked on it from 11 to 4 o'clock in the morning. So that was another 5 hours. I spent 2 or 3 hours today doing it, and I still haven't cut the body out, which I'll do at some point in time. Yep, a lot of Gen X babies on here. And the Stampede 4x4 was my very first four-wheel drive vehicle, believe it or not. And we had waited so long for the Stampede 4x4, it wasn't even funny. For myself, I still have the RC Car Action magazine when they did a review on the Stampede 4x4. But we had waited when they announced the Stampede two-wheel drive back in the 90s. Was it? No, it was in the it was a late 90s, I think it was. People had wanted a two-wheel drive Stampede for a long time, or four-wheel drive Stampede. People were trying to do custom build stuff, and then Traxxas finally did it. And when they did it, I jumped on it. I think when I first got it, it was slow out the box. So I was used to running a Rustler. But once I started gearing it up, lowering it down, I had so much fun with that Stampede. It wasn't even funny. I don't know about that X Monster. I mean, it's just a X Max with different tires and wheels on a different body, different bumper. It's the price is just ridiculous right now. I mean, you're gonna pay $1,100 for that without no body, and then $200 for a body. So you're $1,400 almost just to get that vehicle. If you have an X Max, you just convert it. Just go to Jenny's and get the parts and convert it. I don't know why Traxxas didn't just release a kit, release the tires and then release the bodies with the bumper and sell it like that. That would have been better. Every now and then I do. I get a couple cars for sale. Sometimes I got too many or stuff I got doubles, duplicates, triplicates of. So 1995 was what, the Stampede 2-wheel drive? Oh, sheesh, $1,700. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, those prices are. They should have released it as a kit. They really should have. I think that. I mean, there are people buying it though, but I just think that they should have released it as a kit. Release the tires, sell them for 250. Release the body, sell the body with the bumper for 250. $500 kit to add onto your X Max. That way you can get the tires and wheels first and get the body later on, or vice versa. Yeah, the two-wheel drive Stampede VXL was my very first brushless vehicle. So a lot of people that try to discredit Traxxas and stuff, they got to step back and look at the history of it. Traxxas has done things over time to help the hobby out and save it a couple times. Like when the Slash first came out, I think it was 2006 or 7 or something like that. The industry was basically dropping down. I mean, people weren't doing that much. It was the same old, same old. The T-Max, E-Max era was kind of ending, and then Traxxas announced the Slash. And when the Slash was announced, it changed things around. I mean, after that, a lot of companies were releasing short course trucks, and there was a racing class for it. Everybody got involved with it. So just like with the X01. I mean, they should have been ruling the 7 scale market, but it is what it is. And just like Tamiya, I think Tamiya is dropping the ball. It's fine to re-release this stuff, but give us something that is big and bashable. Like make a 4-wheel drive Monster Beetle. You know, take this and make it an 8 scale and make it 4-wheel drive, or take this platform and make it 4-wheel drive. I know they had the Blackfoot Extreme that was designed on a dual motor chassis, but it had one motor in it that you can buy the front, and then you can kind of convert it to a 4-wheel drive vehicle. It'd be 2 motors on it, but re-release this and make this into a 4-wheel drive 8 scale vehicle. I think that would be awesome, or even 10 scale would be good. Kyosho still has kind of stayed with the trend. They got some race buggies and they've made stuff out there. And Tamiya has got their stuff, but I just think that they're missing kind of the basher scene too with that, because this as an 8 scale buggy or 8 scale monster truck, that would be good, at least in my opinion. So dang, X Max is 1350. Jeez, woo! Talk about a payment plan there. Oh, that's good. You got a good deal on that. So I covered all my Traxxas cars. All my Traxxas cars to drags or bandits. Okay. They had a drag bandit out there, Bill, about 12 years ago. You should check that out. They actually extended the chassis out and everything for it. So yeah, I wasn't gonna stay on here that long. I did want to at least show this to you guys. I got to think about a pinion gear because I don't have one that's going to fit in there. I was gonna run it in the garage or something, but now I can't because I don't have a pinion gear that'll fit it. I think I got a 11 tooth, and that's definitely not gonna fit in there because these are 48 pitch gears. I think back in the day they used 32 pitch. I don't think it was 48. I think it was a 32 pitch. But I'm excited to get this running though, and I'll talk about it, like I said, when I do the full-blown video. I'll talk about it a little bit more, give you guys a history of it, show you visuals, etc. Blah blah blah. The whole history of the RC10, so you guys can see its evolution from when it was first released in '84 up until I'll try to do it up until today, but I'll probably end up doing it from kind of my viewpoint. But I'll put in some extra stuff just because I want to miss a couple of years. Excuse me, when I go through the review of this and stuff. But I'll make sure I put that in there. Yeah, it'll probably be about a week before I put that review because I might cut this body out tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I might cut this out tonight and clean it up and then go ahead and get the paint ordered. The paint's 19 bucks for a can of paint. One can of paint. One can. 18, 19 bucks. One can of paint. Crazy. One can of paint, y'all. So, guys, I'm going to end this in just a minute. There's no other questions you guys have or you guys aren't communicating between yourselves. I got to get some other stuff done, but I just wanted to at least show these to you guys and get this out so you can see it. So, as always, I do appreciate you guys that tune into my channel, that subscribe, that comment, and do all kinds of stuff to help me with the channel. And I will see you guys probably in about 2 or 3 days.